The heavy rains and flash floods hitting East Africa have largely been reported in Burundi, Tanzania, Kenya and Somalia. The UN Refugee Agency says thousands have been impacted, including refugees in the region.
When I moved here in 2020, there was no water. Vehicles could drive up to my house. But when the water started rising, it filled the houses. We first left, then we came back. When we returned, the water had receded, but it started rising again.
I have never seen flooding like this. The water has never been this high. We were growing rice over there. This has been a bad year.
Water came into the house from both sides. The first wave was up to this level.
The UN agency says it is particularly concerned about people who had already been forced to flee, losing their homes again.
We have received heavy rains which have caused serious flooding across all the camps. Over 20,000 refugees have been displaced, many of whom are currently seeking shelter inside the schools.
During a briefing on Thursday, the spokesperson for the UN Secretary-General, Stefan Dujarric, said the impact of El Niño-triggered extreme weather risks further devastating communities and undermining livelihoods.
The United Nations and its partners are working closely with national authorities to address the humanitarian requirements. The Secretary-General stresses that the United Nations stands ready to offer any additional assistance that may be needed during this very difficult period.
Last month, the UN Refugee Agency launched its first ever Climate Resilience Fund, which seeks to raise $100 million to support refugees, host communities and countries of origin hardest hit by the climate emergency. Joy Kiruki Juma, CGTN.